Hello. Okay, so today working on AIL again, and we're going to be on lesson 67. So if you don't have your AIL book, please go run, and get it really quickly so we can start our lesson. All right, so I'm going to turn over to our book so that you guys can see what we're doing. Today we're going to go over our index again. We're going to go over sentences, putting stories in order, and then doing a little bit of correcting as well. All right, see you guys. Okay, so here are sentences. In the very top of sentence number 1, I'm going to go through and read all the sentences, and I want you to tell me which one is correct. Now, we're going to have a test this week, so I'm going to do a lot less work for you, and I'm going to do a lot more just verifying for you. So make sure that you're trying your best to give me the right answers. Okay, so number 1, we're looking for the sentence that's using the correct grammar. It says, "Can you see them rabbits? Broken branches were everywheres, and Steve brought Dr. Anderson her glasses." Which sentence is correct? Think about it. Think about it. Which one is it? Get ready. Yes, Steve brought Dr. Anderson her glasses. This is the correct one. Can you see them? We don't say them in this context, so we're going to cross that one out. And broken branches were everywheres. We don't use the S for everywheres. It's not a plural. It's an adverb most of the time. So we don't plural adverbs. Okay, moving down. I have Mrs. Hanson learned herself to drive. She drove the truck well. Or Alice marked plenty good sandwiches. Sorry, Alice made. So Miss Hanson learned herself how to, I can't even read it. Miss Hanson learned herself to drive. She drove the truck well, or Alice did plenty good sandwiches. That's kind of a harder one. What's the answer, class? Get ready. Yes, she drove the truck well. Miss Hanson learned herself. No, we would say she learned how to drive. Miss Hanson learned how to drive. We could put by herself if we wanted to, but we wouldn't put herself right there. And then Alice did plenty good sandwiches. We wouldn't say did. We wouldn't use this, and we wouldn't say plenty good. This is too positive. We wouldn't do that either. So she made good sandwiches, or she made great sandwiches. Made even more sense. So those two are not correct. All right, great job. Moving on. So now here's our index, and who can tell me where do we find our index? In the beginning of the book or at the end of the book? We find it usually at the Yes, at the end. This is going to give us a very direct answer for what we're looking for. Remember, table of contents, which we find in the beginning of the book, is going to tell us where to find like whole chapters, like all about Greece or all about China. But if I want to learn where the Great Wall of China is specifically, or where Athena is, I'm going to go to the index and look for their names and shoot straight there. Okay, so we have our index and our page numbers. Here are questions today. Remember, these questions don't have to be answered in complete sentences for this part. On what pages will you find out about drones? On what pages will you find out about drones? So your turn to go ahead and look through and find out where drones are. Did you find it? All right, and where do I find drones at? On pages 29 through 31. What does that mean? Through 29 and 31. That means I'm going to find it on page 29, page 30, and page 31. I'm going to find it on all 3 of those pages. Okay, moving on. On what pages will you find out about bee's nest? Bee's nest. Okay, go ahead and find bee's nest. This is kind of a tricky one, right? Because I'm assuming that this whole entire book is going to be about bees. So I don't have bees nest exactly, but I do have nest. So I'm going to go up here and mark nest. And that means I'm going to find it on a lot of pages on 21 through 31, in addition to on page 33, on page 37, and on page 40 as well. Around the room. 40. I'm just going to find out on page 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 37, and 40. Okay. And the last one, what information is found on pages 32 through 45? Well, I don't know. Why tell me. 32 through 32 through 45 is life cycle. Great job. Life cycle. Well, then I just write life cycle. Careful to spell it correctly because I almost spelled it wrong. Life cycle. All right, this is a new part to us, part 3. We need to read the entire paragraph and then put it in correct order. It is not in correct order, so we need to fix it. Now, when I say correct order, is like when we have a story. There you go. When we have a story, like I'm making popcorn. First, I'm going to unwrap my bag. Then I'm going to unfold the popcorn bag. Then I'm going to put it in the microwave. And lastly, I'm going to turn on the microwave and let it pop. Okay, so I have everything I'm doing in order. So this story that we're going to read is completely out of order, and we need to fix it by putting it in order. So we're going to figure out what should happen and what shouldn't happen. Okay, so here is our paragraph, our small paragraph, but paragraph nonetheless. It says, finally, she puts away her toothbrush. Then Dana rinses off her toothbrush. Dana brushes her teeth first thing every morning. Next, she brushes her teeth for 3 minutes. First, she puts toothpaste on her brush. Okay, so we're going to find out what happens first. Well, they already helped us out there by saying Dana brushes her teeth first thing every morning. So first thing she does, first thing every morning, she brushes her teeth. That's number 1. So how does she do that? What is the next sentence that we're looking for? Probably the sentence that starts with first. Yes, first. So we're going to put a number 2 at first. And that tells us that's the second part of the paragraph. Then I'm looking for my next sentence. Next, she brushes her teeth for 3 minutes, or finally she puts away her toothbrush, or then Dana rinses off her toothbrush. What do you think comes next? Yes, my next sentence. So next, she brushes her teeth for 3 minutes. It should be pretty easy after that, because what happens after next comes then. Yes, then Dana rinses off her toothbrush. And lastly, which is the finally sentence, she puts away her toothbrush. That's number 5. See, pretty easy peasy. Great job, easy peasy. You guys are doing amazing. All right, we're going to move on to our next part, part 4. Now you're going to edit this entire paragraph by yourself. I'm preparing you for your test and we're going to go over it afterwards. I will give you a hint. There is one sentence that there's nothing wrong with it, okay? And that is going to be this sentence down here. This sentence is totally okay. There is nothing wrong with that sentence, so don't touch it. But I want you to pause the video and go ahead and find all the errors for the rest of the sentence. Go ahead and do it. Did you pause it? I hope you follow instructions. Good job, keep working. All right, I'm gonna go through with you now and we're gonna edit this sentence. So first thing, I'm gonna go kind of fast so we can get the hang of it. Mr. should be capitalized. There should be a period after Mr. because it's an abbreviation. Mrs. should also be capitalized and have a period because they're also abbreviation, Mr. and Mrs. Cross is their last name, so Cross should have should be capitalized. And then Mr. and Mrs. Cross went to Parsons Bookstore. Well, Parsons is the name of the bookstore. Bookstore is capitalized, so I know that Parsons is also part of the name of it, so I need to capitalize Parsons as well. Mrs. Cross asked the clerk, oh, look at that. Mrs. is capped with a period. They're helping you out there. It should look the exact same way, right? All right, then it says Mrs. Cross asked the clerk, ooh, I'm missing something. right here in between my clerk and my something belongs there, a comma. That break needs to be there, right? So I put a comma after clerk. Where would I, ooh, when I stands alone, I must be capitalized. Find the secret. The secret, you might not be used to this. I hate when I do this. The secret should be underlined. It's a story, it's a book. And whenever we talk about a book, we underline it. So The Secret by, and here's the name, Rose Barr. So Rose Barr should both be capitalized because they are a name. And then I need to add some kind of ending here. Where would I find The Secret by Rose Barr? I need to add an ending, which is going to be a question mark because she's asking where, and then I need to add parentheses around that also because my sentence is over. Now, this is what the answer is going to be. In should be capitalized at the beginning of a sentence. In the fiction part of the store, replied, my dialogue is finished. What the clerk is saying is over. So I need to add parentheses. Great job. Replied the clerk on the top shelf. In the fiction part of the store, replied the clerk. Now she's saying it in the middle. So now we're on the next part and now she's talking again. So this is the confusing part. I need to add a comma after clerk and I need to put parentheses around on. I'm not going to capitalize on because it's not the beginning of a sentence. She's saying something, the narrator took a break and said who said it, and then what she's saying is being continued. So in the fiction part of the store, replied the clerk, on the top shelf. And then that's what the last thing that she says is another confusing part. They're trying to trick you guys. So you have to read it like how it would make sense. Okay, if I'm reading this and I just go, replied the clerk on the top shelf, thank you, said, I can see that it's not going to make a lot of sense. I know where to make my break. On the top shelf. So I'm going to put a period and I'm going to put quotation marks for shelf because my sentence is over. Then this is a lot of markings right here. If you got this right, I'm going to be so incredibly proud of you. Not only do I have to capitalize thank, I have to put parentheses around thank also, and this should be a new paragraph, right? Whenever someone's talking, I go to the next line, and this means I go to the next line. So that is crazy. I need parentheses after shelf, capitalize thank, parentheses before thank, and I need to move this down to my next line. Thank you. And then I'm going to put a comma because she said thank you. That's all she's saying. Thank you, said Mrs. Capitalize Mrs. again, add that period, cross. And that is the end because it's done here. Thank you, said Mrs. Cross. The cross was brought the book. Whew, that is a tricky sentence. Remember, on your test, it's going to be something similar to this. So please make sure you're being very, very careful. Remember, we always start, if we're talking in the middle, we're going to start a new line, okay, if we're adding a sentence in the very, very middle. So please make sure you're doing that. All right, guys, you're all set. Thank you for coming by today.